As a young boy in the early 1960s, I remember John Kennedy challenging our country with an inspiring vision. He said, "We will take a man to the moon and return him safely by the end of the decade. We do it not because it's easy, but because it's hard." I was inspired. I was engaged. I eagerly anticipated and watched every launch into space. Then in 1969, just before the end of the decade, I watched on television as Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. Vision provides direction. Like a rudder on a ship, it guides your forward progress. Thomas Edison said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." Vision is the inspiration, the end in mind that precedes the perspiration, the work you do, the results you achieve. During a team meeting at Wilson Auctioneers, Joe Wilson leaned back in his chair and said, "You know what I really want us to become?" None of us knew the answer, but in that moment it was clear that Joe was inspired. Then Joe declared, "I want us to be the premier real estate auctioneers in the state of Arkansas." That was it. That was the vision. The vision was inspired and inspiring. Up until that time, Wilson Auctioneers had provided all types of auctioneering services to their clients. Now there was clarity. Joe and his team decided to focus on real estate auctions and do it better than anyone in their state, as measured by customer satisfaction. Joe's vision met 3 useful criteria. It's what they did best, it's what they were passionate about, and it drove their financial performance. Think about this in relation to your company. What's your ideal future? What do you want to become? You can write a clear and concise vision statement by following a simple 4-step process. 1, how good do you want to be? 2, at providing what? 3, to whom? 4, on what type of scale? Here's another example. First, start with an inspiring, measurable picture of your position in the marketplace, such as the leading provider. Let's say you choose to measure this by revenue. Secondly, identify what your product or service is. For example, residential fencing. Third, define who your customer or market is. Let's say homeowners. And finally, define your geographic scale, the place in which you're going to provide your service. Let's say in the San Diego area. There you go. You have an initial draft of your vision statement to be the leading provider of residential fencing to homeowners in the San Diego area. Once you get this far, you want to follow the good enough principle. In other words, it's good enough for this stage in your planning process as long as you can say, "That's what I want us to become." You can refine your language at a later time. For example, you might want to shorten your vision and say, "San Diego's leading provider of residential fencing." If your company does not have a vision, we'll help you write one.